Hi, welcome everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Sorry about starting a little bit late there. I had a slight little technical issue on my end. I don't know why one of the YouTubes decided to have the volume back up, but that's all right. I've only been doing this for years. Might have been the power glitch. But anyway, James Looper's already here. I appreciate you guys for being here. The guys are waiting backstage. Tonight's going to be an awesome show. We got ENC Productions here. I'll let them introduce themselves. There's really no use in waiting any longer. So let's, without further ado, let's get a grip with ENC Productions. What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Doing fine, sir. How are you?
Oh man, it's a blessed day, right? Any day above ground is a good day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, man, oh man, look at you three. I mean, we have a business meeting just for the show. I like it. I expected all three of you to be at your houses or whatever, and then I was just gonna have four guys here, but this is cool.
Figured we'd make it a little easier on you.
Yeah, this is cool, man. I like it. So I think the easiest thing to do, for the community, right, would be to introduce yourselves, kind of tell us a bit about yourselves, and then I'll get into a little bit more of the intricate details as far as, because I know at least two of you are arm wrestlers. I don't know if the third one is, but we'll get to all of that. And yeah, let's just roll with that. So you guys take it away. Who are you? What do you do? And why are we here tonight?
I guess I'll speak a little bit first. I'm Joshua. I'm usually just the guy who runs his mouth at all the events, but we decided to fill a need that we saw in the production area of things. With our expertise in electronics and kind of just some of our passions with using technology and things, we've obviously become incredibly acclimated with some of the softwares and some of the hardware that we are using now. So we wanted to kind of step into the space that we felt was relatively unoccupied, and really try to bring a level of professionalism to local sports and things of that nature. I mean, we're not arm wrestling specific, although we are arm wrestling kind of preferred. Like we love the sport. So it's kind of like our first pick, but we're kind of doing other ventures as well. But I don't know if one of you guys want to speak a little more about it.
Might as well go right to left.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Josh and John are more of the competitors. I definitely like to pull in the after pools and things like that. We don't really compete as much, but we all love arm wrestling. We've been doing arm wrestling for how many years do you think now?
5 or 6.
About 5 years or so. And, so we've gotten to know a lot of the guys from Virginia and all that, and it really kind of acclimate ourselves into the community. And then kind of like you said, we noticed that need and have a desire to fulfill that need. And I enjoy it very much. Just being there, like I said, not necessarily being on the competitive side, but being involved in the sport and within the community with all the guys. It's just very fulfilling for me.
And you are, just so the community knows who you are?
My name is Andrew Casper. And
there you go.
Like I said, a lot of the guys they see me at the events here and there. So some people know me, but I'm definitely not as known as these two are.
I don't know how known we are, but I'm Jonathan Stotesbury. And just to expound a little bit to avoid saying the same thing 3 times, we've been going to a lot of events over, I'd say for me, probably 3.5, closing in on 4 years. And I have a background in audio. I build speakers. I've done a couple business builds for some customers over in Greensboro over the years. And every time I would go to these events, I would see, they have some functionally a Bluetooth speaker and possibly a little webcam or something like that. And that's not to disparage events that do that. I totally get it, right? No one's going out and buying thousands of dollars of equipment when half the time the organizer of the event is making very little, possibly nothing. I know some of our guys are strong enough or excited enough for the sport that they've actually given money to host these events. And I deeply appreciate that as a competitor. But, as we have gone to these events and seen the footage that followed, right? You know, what we've kind of realized is that footage is the legacy of that event. You know, there's some cameras, some cell phone videos that people have posted on Facebook, and then there is the stream. And for many people who can't attend or haven't attended for whatever reason, that's their only source of interaction with that event. And so, you know, I by trade, I'm an electrical engineer with a specialty in power and networking. And so, you know, we just kind of saw Andy is very good with cameras. Josh is very good with computers and editing, and I'm good with audio and networking. So it kind of made sense.
Oh, that's a
as
match made in heaven.
Yeah, to meet a need that we saw in the community.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I mean, you know, the only experience that I really have with the three of you as a production company would be the Carolina Clash that you guys just did. And I went back and watched the entire live stream that you guys did. And man, I got to tell you, especially at our level, you know, our local level, that is some of the most professional videography slash working with cameras and stuff like that I've seen. Now, obviously, you guys had a little bit of an audio problem. I know the backstory on that. That's no problem. Everybody has problems. We get that. But I mean, the video quality, especially with the roving, the seamless transitions between the static cameras to the roving camera and stuff like that, that was really professional stuff. And I'm impressed. Well, you guys know I'm impressed because I'm going to use you for Camel City, and we don't have a big budget there. So for us to use you guys, we're very impressed with what you guys are doing.
And you know, we're right in the middle of the beginning stages of this. You know, John spoke about, you know, these promoters are not necessarily in a place where they're willing or able to financially compensate thousands of dollars worth of gear, whereas we are. So, you know, that event that we did for Allen was really a proof of concept for us, because we didn't even know if we could do it. You know, we had no idea what level of quality we could bring to the sport, given what our experience is. And when things just kind of went seamlessly, it was kind of like, oh, wow, you know, there's an opportunity here. But now, you know, we've invested in more high-tech gear, more PTZ, 4K NDI cameras that can zoom right on your nose hair follicles. We're currently in the midst of building a full cinematography camera rig for the close-ups and stuff like that. I mean, we are certainly investing into the company and making it something that when you have someone local to us view these local events and they're starting to think, holy hell, did I just pay to view this? This is available to me for free.
Right.
You know, the quality that we provide, we want it to rival, if not do better than some of these bigger name events, because, you know, we have the ability and the know-how. It's just a matter of giving us a chance. Unfortunately, we're so new that we don't have much of a portfolio. So,
well, I mean, that's why we're here, right? To help you out, to do the best we can. You know what I mean? So, you know, because I know you three. Well, I know both of you. I don't think I've met. I don't think I've met. Forgive me. I had your name a second ago. Andy. Got it. See, I caught it. So I don't think I've met Andy before, and if I have, it was kind of in passing. But I know the two of you, obviously, Josh and Jonathan, and you know, we've been pulling together for years, and I've known you guys for a long time. So when I heard about this, I was like very interested in it, and I saw the setup that you guys had, and then when I got home, I watched the live feed again, and like I said, I was blown away. It was very professional, very well done. You're already rivaling guys that are much bigger than you, and I know that you were kind of behind the eight ball on that one, you know, as far as equipment and stuff like that, and you still did very well. So I'm impressed with it. And I'm impressed at your work ethic. I've talked to Josh and Jonathan separately, and their work ethic is very, very good. So yeah, I mean, Andy, you're just the black sheep in this. I haven't talked to you yet. I haven't had a chance to talk to you yet.
All right, that's all right. Hopefully there'll be plenty of opportunities to get to know each other in the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And I look forward to it. So on the technical side of it, I would ask, well, there's something that I actually want to say, because Josh and I were talking, and, you know, at Carolina Clash. And I remember, you had given me your prices, which I'm not going to divulge here because obviously that's between you and your clients and all of that. But you had given me your prices, and first of all, extremely fair, in my opinion, extremely, extremely fair. And second of all, I'm going to just say it out in public. Look, if we're friends and family of these guys, meaning community arm wrestlers, etc., pay them their price. Like just pay them their price. They're worth it. And it's worth it to try. I believe, I don't know, man. I come from a different school of thought, I guess. I don't believe friends and family discount exists. I believe that a friends and family discount should mean that we're paying you full price, if not more, if we can afford it, because of the fact that we want to see you succeed. So that's the way I look at a friends and family a discount is pay full price, if not more. So Yeet, which is Kurt Welsh, just turned around and said, "How do I get a coupon?" But yeah. So on the technical side, what I want to ask you guys is like, what are your biggest challenges? Like some of your biggest challenges as far as like, because you're going into different venues that you may never have seen before. So what are your biggest challenges going into something like that?
I think the biggest one primarily is networking, and I'll let John speak to that because we're always looking. That's the first thing. We have checklists, and the first concern is, we're trying to put on a live feed depending upon whether our client wants or just recording. But if a live feed is what's being considered, then network immediately. So I'll let John speak to that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, every venue is going to have their own ISP. They're going to have their own package, right? A lot of times the wireless access points that they're going to have interspersed through the venue will either be bandwidth limited, or they may not have purchased a gigabit throughput, from the provider. And so we get there and we don't know until we've tested the network what's even available. You'll also see that sometimes managed networks will block ports that we need to transmit data to, YouTube, for example. And so the first and largest challenge at any venue is to convince the venue owners to allow me, a random person, to go jack into their network and see what's there and how I can manipulate it to get what I want. And this last event, we got really lucky there. It was a managed network. It did have block ports. The wireless access points were guested, where they had what they call a walled garden. There was only certain places you could go on the network. But in a unfortunate circumstance for the company, they had a unmanaged switch location. So they had a couple ports that were admin on the switch, and I could jack into those ports and have unmanaged access.
Well, I wouldn't say that was unfortunate. That was good. It was good.
It was great
for
us.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a security concern, but
I got you.
but we asked before we did it, just to
right. Of course.
But so that's definitely the first one, and then I would say the second one, as was demonstrated at our first event, would be audio.
Right.
Audio is very finicky. Every venue has different acoustics. We have more or less people there. Different microphones get saturated quicker, and ultimately, sorry, Shane, I have a habit of speaking in my language, and sometimes
no, that's okay. I mean, for some of us we got it, for some of us didn't. It's okay. It's all right.
But at that event, we learned a little bit about the limitations of our equipment. We have already taken steps to remedy that. I have a really cool, fancily named box in another room that's going to prevent what happened at the last event with audio to happen again. And we have good speakers and some really interesting stuff coming at the next event.
Awesome. I love to hear it. And for Camel City, you guys know, unless I can get you guys there early to try to figure out if you could do the same whiz bang voodoo stuff that you do, I'm going to end up having, just a pre-recorded show type of deal. So, so let me ask you that. Is that easier than a live feed? I would assume it would be, right? Because, you're not like on stage right now, go. You can kind of make some tweaks and post editing, stuff like that if you needed to, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Being able to do it on a time frame after the fact, and being able to kind of customize some things. Not to mention, to be honest, the quality is probably going to be better with a pre-recorded system.
Right.
Introducing live feeds do diminish some of the quality aspects of things until you
Right.
get to a certain tier of electronics and hardware, which, I mean, we are rapidly advancing to that tier of electronics because we're impulsive spenders. But we when you're doing the live and the pre-recorded, if one of our refs, Voodoo, decides to say something out the way, we can block that out. Or
Why would you single him out at all?
I like Voodoo, he knows it. But just for instance, it just gives us so much more opportunity to add flair, to add close-ups or B-roll or interviews, or
Yeah.
to be honest, when we're talking about a live feed, we're talking about what's happening right now. We have to be on point. But when we're talking about just a pre-recorded show, we're talking about a full cinematic presentation. This is a film production set. Things change, and this level of seriousness changes to some degree as well. But it can provide a lot more insight into what's really going on at the event. Because like what John said, for some people, this is the only avenue that they can participate. And the more of the event that we bring to their rooms from their televisions or phones, the more that we can really provide exposure to what we're doing.
And then not only that, but I would assume, again, this is just me assuming, but I would assume with the live stuff, no matter what your level of hardware is, you're still 100% at, the mercy of the bandwidth, the connection, the everything. There could be a router that goes down, a mile away, and that kills you, so it's you're at the mercy of stuff that you just can't control. I would assume that when you have a pre-recorded stuff or a pre-recorded show instead of a live feed, that yes, although the customers miss out on the instant gratification of the event, they somehow get a more reliable and better quality event if you guys can record it, edit it, and then release it at a later date. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, we do record and we do stream simultaneously.
Right.
So if something does create an interruption, although the stream may stop on YouTube or whatever streaming service that we're using based upon our clients' needs, we still will have that footage uninterrupted going through from that production that day.
Yeah, no, obviously, Shane, if we can, for all of the events, if we can keep a live stream, that's obviously the way to go. But it's good to hear that you guys are recording it as well, just in case the stream does go down. Because I've seen plenty of streams where, all of the best intentions were there, but it just something happened and you got all of this pixelated stuff and you're missing the setup, you're missing the match. You hear all the cheering and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
That's one of the reasons we do not rely on the Wi-Fi anywhere. One of the best decisions that we made in our first event was to bring our own networking equipment. So other than the hardware connection to the venue, we really didn't need anything else. In the long term, one of the options we're throwing around is to possibly buy into like Starlink, and then we would actually just need power.
Right.
And we do actually own solar generators that could give us 6 to 8 hours of power.
All right, easy does it there, Donnie Drees. Easy does it.
Well, like you said, we're impulsive spenders.
Yeah. I mean, but you guys are talking about stuff that like I just alluded to. Don Idris, you're talking about Adam Silva type stuff. Like that's, you guys are talking about some heavy duty equipment that the top of the top are already using. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the goal, is for us to be competitive with the top of the top. When you actually start to look for people that do what we do, it's not very close. People don't do that around here. You have to travel several hours to find someone that even does production work like we do. And then even at that point, they have minimums, 3 days, 4-day events, things of that nature. None of them are stopping to just do your 1-day event. So we're filling a need that is really unfilled. No one's doing it. So
I'm assuming business is starting to take off. Like word of mouth is starting to get there. You starting to get some events, logged in the calendar. Because I mean, you already have January 10th, so that's already done. But as far as like what else is going on? Do you
We have
have
September 27th.
Hmm.
We have October. Which fall brawl?
I think it's
that's
October
the
26th.
26th. Yep.
26th.
Yep.
There's been conversation about one in November. I know Alan has spoke with me about the possibility of one in December. We're pretty out there. We're trying to take our time and learn our equipment before we step into some of the non-arm wrestling specific things.
Right.
But everything is finicky, right?
Our cameras are too smart
There you
for
go,
their own
dude.
good.
Oh, you actually have a remote camera and it picked up motion. Is that it?
Picked up the hand signal.
Oh, look at that.
There's a delay. You need to look at the other one.
You're almost there. Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
The streaming service inverts it.
That's nice. I like it. He's like, he went like this and the camera was like, got it.
It's great till it isn't.
Yeah. Well, I think Coach Ray uses one that also follows him too. When
This
he's
will do
doing
that.
his. Yeah, and man, it's terrible when he just does this to like lean over and pet his cat because then the camera's doing this and then coming back, and it's like it's all confused. It's funny. It's funny to watch. But yeah, so with Starlink, it'd be interesting because Starlink is obviously satellite, right? So you have a high sorry for the gamer lingo, but you have a high ping, don't you? Like a latency.
Latency is typically somewhere around 50 to 70 milliseconds.
Really on Starlink?
Oh yeah, it's
that's
come
incredible.
A very long way versus like HughesNet.
Yeah, that's the one I was comparing it to. As 1,000
is.
milliseconds.
It's running in an entirely different band. The
Wow.
the wireless communications are up in radar,
Wow.
and it's very impressive what they've managed to accomplish.
I mean, 50 to 70 milliseconds. That's basically what most cable or fiber can get you if you're far enough away from the server. So it's not terrible.
Not to mention the fact that the software that we use for streaming, we're able to mitigate a lot of that latency by just adding some different timers and fades and stuff in it. We can pretty much get down to almost zero, regardless of what network we're using.
Wow. All right, Andy, I feel bad here. I'm talking to John and Josh and they're giving me all of the computer and the audio stuff. So all right, give me the visual stuff. What kind of awesome whiz bang cameras are you using?
Well, we're definitely investing into some things. I've been looking at a lot of Sony cameras. We got a cage build that we're going to be getting so we can have the free camera. They may have noticed that the last event we were actually using a phone, but it actually did really decent.
It did.
Like say, going back and looking at the stream quality, it was actually pretty good, but we want to deliver even better quality. And so we're restricted to 1080p with the phone and things like that. So we're looking into cameras that can give us that 4K resolution that we want. Because again, the better quality, we just have a desire to produce the best quality that we can.
Right.
So we're definitely looking into those cameras that we can get set up. It's very interesting to me. I've actually had like a whole new desire kind of spark up. Sometimes you can get on a roll with things. And then so I've just been looking at all these videos. I've purchased courses and all these things, and I'm kind of fill my brain with as much knowledge about these cameras and all. But at the same time, we're getting this equipment in and we're working with it the best that we can and learning all these things. So other than some we're looking at the Sony EV10 is what I believe that was the one that we were looking at getting. And then having the small rig boxes and cages and the cage system with a battery that we don't have to worry about. Sometimes you have it where you can do a direct plug in, but we want to be able to still have that freedom. So we're having the V-mount batteries. We're investing into the audio for better audio at the table. So we're going to have an audio mic on the camera. And then also one of the things that I kind of always run into with live streams, it always seems like sometimes the lighting quality can be
Yeah.
hit or miss.
Yep.
Especially with a live venue, you got to work with what lighting you have. Even though we have talked about in the future providing some lighting, and actually getting some things to mount the cameras up above like a truss, and maybe even provide some more better lighting for the situations. But when you're working live stream, you just have to kind of work with what's there. And so one of the ways we can combat that is with specific lenses for the cameras via the map box, or either lenses that will go directly onto filters that go directly onto the end of the camera lens to help keep the lighting a little bit better, and again, produce that better image quality for those who are viewing.
That's good to know, because you can ask John. Camel City is going to be a nightmare for you guys as far as lighting goes. It's basically a nightclub. It basically is what it looks like inside. Now, I think I love the venue, and it seems like most of the people that pull there do. Actually, all the people that pull there do, that I've heard the feedback. It's a different vibe than any other place I've ever been to, as far as a tournament or an event or anything like that. And I'm so blessed to be a part of it. But the thing that I was going to ask, and yes, this is kind of a selfish question, but like for a small time guy like me that's only putting on, one event a year kind of deal, and we don't have a whole lot of budget and stuff like that, are we still going to be able to have those I would say small time prices, even though you guys are going like well above and beyond like what I would consider the scope for something like Camel City would be? Or is it just something, and just be honest, is it something that you're going to be targeting more of the bigger events and stuff like that?
Well, we want to tailor packages to fit budgets.
Okay.
So,
That's fair.
we are starting to acquire quite the repertoire of cameras, of audio equipment, and we're going to start to assemble kind of ready go packages that are, hey, look, this is a tier 3 or whatever. We're talking $5,000 in one day. We need to grab tier 3 package and have it all ready, hire a camera crew, whatever. Or if we're saying, hey, look, we're going to an arm wrestling event, grab tier 1, we're going to do like a 1080p stream. Because, I mean, let's be honest here, East versus West, King of the Table, all of them, they're doing 1080p streams at the max, right? No one's producing a 4K stream of anything live. So what we're trying to do is really kind of unheard of. And it's an incredibly uphill battle to master things like making sure the cameras stay fed, making sure that we have enough uptick and networking to be able to hold that. But it's something that we're seeking because we want to be the leaders in that lane. Now, granted, we're very well aware that we're just starting. This is all new. We can't run up to you and say, hey, listen, although you've only seen one of our things, we need $5,000 to do your gig, right? We're trying to develop a portfolio. So my thoughts were, and we've discussed it, was that throughout this year, we would kind of keep things at a low. We would start developing our craft, learning our equipment and our tools at our disposal. And then, as things progress into next year, then we can start to develop more of the reasonable prices based upon the package that works for you. And what I would say for anyone watching, if you have an interest in what we provide, don't just send me a message saying, hey, how much? Have a conversation with all three of us, one of us, whoever, and just, we want to know what your needs are. What do you have at this event? What's going on? How many cameras do you need? We'll tailor a package to fit, and we'll say, hey, listen, this is what it's going to cost. If you can't afford that, let's talk about ways we can mitigate using some of the equipment that you want and still get the desired result.
Right.
So,
right. And I mean, go ahead. Well, I was just honestly going to say that, obviously there's going to, especially if you're targeting to become the best. Okay. And that's awesome. And that's admirable. There's going to come a point where somebody like me is just not going to be able to afford you. And I get that. And that's fine. It doesn't mean that there's, it doesn't mean that there should be any type of hard feelings about it or anything like that, as this community seems to do with everything, you know what I mean? But I want to be the first to say, I hope that you guys grow to a point where I can't afford you. You know what I mean? Like I mean that, because I'm not putting on big events. You know, I'm not going to put on an East First West or a King of the Table or anything like that. I want to see you guys grow to where, as a Camel City guy, I'm going, well, there's no friggin' way I could afford these guys anymore. So, you know, I wish them the best of luck.
Well, and one thing, just like the last event that we did, we also compete. And so events like yours, right? We've went to the Camel City multiple years in a row.
Yes. Yep.
And you know, one of the big benefits to us being in North Carolina and for the surrounding area is, you know, we travel several states. We last weekend we were in West Virginia pulling an event. When we're going to an event anyway, it becomes much more economical for us to cart in our gear and give you a little more competitive number, just because we were already going to front the cost of going because we love the sport.
Right.
And so, you know, arm wrestling, you know, I think in events that we would already reasonably be going to, we can probably continue to be fairly competitive, even if we do grow to a point where, you know, our normal packages would be out of range for most.
See, that's fair, man. I like that. That's fair. I like that a lot. I do. And
I personally, I don't, you know, of course, I mean, things may change in the future, but I hope that we never really get to a point where we say, hey, we can't do that. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, every business you want to make money, but see, there's more than just oh yeah, we want to make money, so let's record arm wrestling videos and we'll make money out of it. We like to arm wrestle and we love arm wrestling and we're passionate enough about it to do it. And now, of course, in the future, we definitely want to see some return on our investment. We definitely want to make some profit there, but at the same time, there's more to it than just making some money. It's also about, you know, I talk to people at my workplace. I go, you know, arm wrestling is not something, even though it is really big. It's an international sport that people multi-million dollars, but still, for the most part, the average person, like I ask anyone at my workplace about arm wrestling, they don't know anything about it other than just, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then so it's not something that is as big maybe in our area or as people think. So there's also a desire to spread the awareness, to see it get bigger in our area also. But just
Josh,
in general,
tell him to never do again. Like
in their mind, when a lot of people think of arm wrestling, they don't see what we see. I show people videos of arm wrestling and they go, they're allowed to do that. You know, they don't. They don't even really understand how competitive
that's
it
not
is.
arm wrestling. That's body wrestling. Oh, shut up.
They don't, and to really see that, you know, there's a lot of people that don't really see what we see, and they're missing out on a lot of good competition, right? A lot of good sportsmanship, a lot of good fun, a lot of good energy in the matches and everything. So it's also just about spreading that awareness in a sport that we all love.
For sure, man. For sure. And I love that. I love that thought process behind it. UAP Custom said, just keep Camel City the second weekend of January in mind when you guys get so booked that every weekend you're doing productions and you are juggling pulling versus working. Just saying.
Yeah, I think something that a lot of our local athletes look forward to, you know, when you start saying, hey, our event is going to have ENC Productions, you know, we want that connotation to mean, oh, wow, I am going to get some awesome footage of myself. I am going to get some awesome photos of myself, you know, and it's going to really provide an outlet for some of our local, maybe not so well-known athletes to get out there. A production of the level of quality that we intend to display, you know, is really going to push people. And we have people in our communities that are exceptional. You know, Bryce Meadows is one of them. You know, but
he's all right. No, I'm kidding.
He's
okay.
You know, people like that, we are able to provide quality footage of them. They could make it further. You know, we have to be able to brand our local athletes, and the stream quality and the footage that we provide is what does that. You know, we don't want to be left to the GoPros on a little handle and the guys, you know, so excited that he's shaking the turd out of the footage. You know what I mean? We want it to be quality footage for these guys.
One of our goals is
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
John. Sorry.
One of our goals is that, you know, when you know that ENC Productions is going to an event, that you aren't worried about pulling your phone out to record.
Right.
That
Right.
would
Now,
be
that's a really good goal to have. And I mean, that's what I was just going to say is, you know, honestly, with the politics of arm wrestling as a whole, right? You know, you have the let's just face it, you have people that like to sit on their ranks and duck people. And I'm talking about from the state level to the regional level to the national level to even the world level, right? So when you know, the bottom line is when you can put somebody out there, you know, with something like ENC Productions, when you can put, you know, their coverage out there, the public can't ignore them. So they have more pressure to put on the people that are ducking them to say, hey, you need to take the match, you know. So that's, you know, something like your videos can be used as a great tool for somebody to climb the ranks when otherwise they wouldn't be given a shot, because it's like, who have you pulled? Well, you know, I've got this cell phone footage from 2 years ago of me pulling this guy and I waxed him. Well, no, now I've got this 4K footage from ENC Productions at, you know, Camel City or whatever. And I faced a nationally ranked guy and friggin' creamed him, you know? So that's going to be a difference in resume, you know, portfolio, like you were saying. So I really do think you guys could really benefit a lot of pullers. You know, it won't be any old asses like me breaking through, but there's a lot of young bucks that are coming up that that could really use that as a great stepping stone or a jumping off point, you know. So like a Bryce Meadows, of course I'm giving him shit because he kicked my ass last year. But no, he's a really good puller. I don't even know where he's going to be now, because, you know, obviously he moved up from 220. He's now into 242. I don't know if he's going to go any higher than that. I don't know if he's going to foray into supers or not. You know, stuff like that. I mean, he's walking around at super heavyweight weight if you're not in North Carolina or using the East versus West scales. But oh, that's right. Virginia just added a 275-pound class, so he's not quite there yet. He's
they added like a Titan class.
I believe so. Yeah. So their 275 plus is super heavyweight. And then you have like the 242 to 275 is your other weight. So is your heavyweight or whatever. But which I like. I honestly thought that East versus West, when it came to that, like 231, 253 is great. I think that 253 to like 280 would have been a really nice class right there. And then to add 280 plus, because let's face it, the new norm for a super heavyweight is if you're not 300 pounds, you're not even competing. So,
right. Yeah.
You
I
know,
think that
it's
there definitely should be a differentiation between, you know, 280 and 390. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's a hell of a gap that we don't expect for any other puller, you know,
Yeah.
but suddenly we expect it for, you know, the top of the elite. Now, granted, I mean, you're awesome if you're competitive with that 400-pound guy at 280 pounds. But we all know, because of how strict we are with weight restrictions, just how much weight plays a factor.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, for me personally, I mean, I've only been doing it for 4.5 years, but me personally, when I took on Pork Chop, you know, I was 265 and, you know, he was all of, I don't know, 310, you know, and you know, maybe even heavier than that. I don't know. But I mean, we all know Samoans are super strong and super thick and super dense in everything they do. And man, that was the toughest match of my life. Now, if I had another 30 pounds on me, it probably would have been a much easier match. Or if he was 30 pounds lighter, it probably would have been a much easier match. But so, yeah, I do believe there needs to be a differentiation for sure. You know, as far as that goes. But anyway, getting back to Bryce, the sky's the limit for him. Like if he's just getting bigger and stronger right now, so that later on he cuts it down into more of a quality build for like a 220 or something like that. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be just scary. Because obviously he's going to be putting on some fluff right now, but that's fine. He's just getting bigger and stronger and he's young and he can do that. When he decides to cut that down and, you know, into whatever, you know, whether it be 220s or 242s or whatever, and decides to chisel that down, that's going to be nasty.
Agreed.
Real nasty.
Agreed.
And Josh, speaking of nasty and all of that, you're pretty damn good yourself. When are you going to make a run at the list in North Carolina?
I'm not sure. I'm a little. For me, when politics start getting involved in anything, I lose interest.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my personal thing. Like I don't like to be in the middle of the heat. You know, I just like to be that guy that comes and wears the same shirt every time I pull.
And you do. And you do.
And then they're like, you know, who's this scrawny dude? And then I get up there and pull people twice my size and rip their wrist back, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not interested per se at all, but I know my experience with the most recent ranking that I acquired from, you know, Ethan being too terrified to pull me.
Here we go. I love it.
Came from, you know, as soon as I won, it was like an hour later, I had a bunch of people wanting to call me out. And I guess it's because everyone was like, well, who is this guy? You know, he's a nobody.
The thing is, and I mean, you know, so I'm not going to get into the whole, you know, who started whatever, but like when we started the rankings list in North Carolina, we actually added in the protection for rankings 1 through 4. Okay. So 5 or the bottom of the list. So let's say North Carolina ever got to 10 or whatever in my system, the system that we built with the original committee and all of that, was going to be, so let's say, you know, if it's a 10 or 15 person list, whatever, that only the bottom rank was ever able to be called out by an unranked person. Right. And we felt like that was fair. So originally it was anybody could be called out. And we were thinking, you know, that's really not fair to the number 1 guy or even the number 2 or number 3 guy, because they have earned their spot on that list and solidified it. Right. It's not that they just got handed to it or anything like that, because, you know, like Josh, you're definitely a standout. You know, if there was an open for contest spot at 231 or something like that at number 5, and there was no other person at 231, you know, that was in your realm, what I would do back in the day was I would bring that to the committee and say, hey, if you guys have any outstanding people that you think could fill the bottom of the list at 231, let me know. Because otherwise, I think Josh Blevins would be the guy to put in there. And if you do have somebody that you think could be a match for Josh or that would beat Josh, let me know. And maybe we can set up a match between those two. And that's exactly how somebody got nominated to the number 5 spot. Right. So it wasn't like this, you know, here's $20. Like, you know, it was literally just that easy where I would, as the chair, I would go and say, I have a suggestion for number 5. If you guys have anybody else that you think can do it, let me know. But the thing is once you're on that number 5, you're pretty much the most active spot, right? Yeah. You're pretty much the most active spot. And that, you know, serves 2 purposes. One, I think it's great for the rest of the community to have somebody to shoot for that they may think that they can take on. Right. And 2, it gives you, the new number 5 guy, a reason to shoot up, because then you're protected and you're like, okay, well, have fun, number 5. You know, you got to keep pulling down while I'm going up. And I think that it works out well. No other list really has that protection. Like if you were to be nationally ranked, Josh, your rank could be called out 1 million times a year by anybody. And yes, it's up to you to call, you know, to accept it or not. Whereas North Carolina has a must system in it. And I think that's good too. So it keeps the list fresh, you know, but social media, ENC Productions, people like you guys are actually going to be putting more pressure on these nationally ranked pullers to take the matches that they are backing down from now. Right. You know, so if anything, Josh, you're actually going to be a catalyst to do the things that you didn't like when you were number 5.
Understandable. The only thing that I would adjust, if my opinion were worth anything, would be
that's why they have the suggestion box, but go ahead.
Be the 1-in-1 rule. So 5th place is obviously entitled to any call out from any unranked person, right?
Yes. Yep.
You should be able to accept 1 call out. All right. If you hold your position, the next call out, you should be free to call out the position above you.
And believe it or not, that's already there. So it's not explicitly sought you know, spelled out, but like, okay, let's just use you as an example. You get back into number 5, right? And as soon as you hit that match, let's just say nobody was able to hit you in that first couple of hours, and you reached out to number 4, or number 3, or even number 1 and said, I'd like a match, and they accepted. You're safe. You're safe from any of the call outs that will happen for you to defend number 5, because you already have an active call out up.
Yeah.
Right. So you just kind of had the unfortunate circumstance of as soon as you hit, people were calling you out. You know, and that, but I mean, in some ways it's unfortunate. In some ways it's not, because I think you earn that. I think number 5 is one of the most tumultuous and hard-earned spots on the list, aside from number one.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah.
And that's
I
why
really-
I think that moving forward, anybody that goes for the ranking, especially with us being your camera crew, you know, walk up to a camera, call your guy out, go ahead and get it out the way as soon as you win your match.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be recorded, ultra high definition, you know. You can't
Yeah, and now
admit-
North Carolina with the new tournament thing. I don't know if you were keeping up with all of it, but the committee just voted on that. So you can't just lose your rank in a tournament anymore, which, you know, I'm mixed bag on that. You know what I mean? Like I kind of liked it the way it was because, you know, hey, are you going to hide or are you actually going to put your elbow on the table and fight? You know, because if you earned it, you earned it, you know, so let's defend it. And I'm not a big tournament guy. I'm a super match guy through and through. I love super matches. I'm not a huge tournament guy, but you know, you make no mistake. Let's just say if things stayed the way they were, and I happen to do really well in the 209 class this year at Camel, or next year at Camel City, I'd definitely be pulling at body armor at 209. I'd definitely be pulling at next year's Camel City at 209. I wouldn't be ducking. You know what I mean? That's just not me. If I can't keep it, then I don't deserve it. You know, so that's the way I look at it. I think that that's a mentality that is not shared by a whole lot of people these days anymore. They see this fictitious rank on a fictitious list on a fictitious, you know, digital, you know, page, and they're like, I'm something now. And it's like, no, you're on the bottom rung of a ladder that never stops. You know what I mean? So get to the top of North Carolina. Absolutely. Congratulations. You did great. You know what I mean? Now go to Southeast, you know, regional. Now get to the top of Southeast regional. Congratulations. You did great. Now go to national, you know, and keep grinding. And there's always another list, you know, there's always another list. And even with world rankings, if you get into top 20, well, then you got top 10, then you got top 5. And then really people don't really look at you unless you're top 3 anymore. So, you know, there's always another list. So
I think though, to look at it from the opposite perspective,
sure,
the vast majority of pullers will never see the North Carolina ranking, right? The vast majority of the people who are going to pull, you know, just through whatever combination of genetics and work ethic and whatever is occurring in their lives, right? Won't see a North Carolina ranking. So when you get people who have worked, you know, very hard and have even either beaten poor genetics or made sacrifices in their life to get in the gym often enough to move forward. I don't know who Yeet RC is, but I just challenged Eli Lanning and got the snot out of me.
Yeah, it's that's Kurt. That's Kurt Welsh. He's just, I would say, Kurt, there's definitely, you're probably looking at your own weight class, but there's definitely a lot of activity going on in some other weight classes, especially the super heavyweights right now with the addition of Corey Little. But we'll get to that in just a second.
But you know, I think that for some people, even though it is fundamentally a list on a Discord and a Facebook, you know, that's a goal that they have aspired to and have achieved. And I can see why some people would put a lot of stock in that potentially. And, you know, I'm not saying that they should hoard it, right? I don't agree with that.
Exactly.
And one of the reasons that I was for this tournament rule change is because just my personal example, when I went to body armor, I woke up that morning kind of sick as a dog and didn't realize it. It got worse through the day. But I woke up feeling
that's
like
where I got it from.
Oh, that could have been my fault.
I got home and I was dead, dude.
I didn't know I was sick for real till I got home. I didn't leave early because of how I realized once I realized I am legitimately sick. Something is wrong. I left. I did not stay around and try to infect people. I woke up thinking I just woke up bad, right? Some days you just wake up, you know, your neck hurts, your arm hurts, even though you haven't done anything with it for 2 weeks trying to prepare. And you go, you know, in my case, you go, screw it. And you go pull body armor and get obliterated by Michael Broom. Which is probably going to happen, sick or not. Your camera likes
there you go. There you go. It's listening to your hands again.
Yeah, too smart for its own good. But you know, if I cared about the ranking enough, I would have woken up that morning and gone, nope, I don't feel my best. I'm not going to go because I could. And Eli or Levi Rakowski beat me that day. He probably was going to beat me anyway, but if he had wanted to push the issue, he would have acquired my rank.
Well, I had asked him because at the time I was still the chair. So I had asked him, I was like, are you moving to Florida or not? And at the time he was. So he's like, I'm not going to obviously take somebody's rank for no reason, this, that, and the other thing. And I thought that was really stand up of him. And then it turns out that he didn't move to Florida. He's visiting Florida and all of that, but he's actually still in North Carolina. So I don't know if you've seen it, but he's actually pursuing auto photography, and he's actually got a pretty good eye for it. He's actually got a really good eye for it. He catches the lines and the lighting really well. And I'm proud of the young man. He's really done a good job and going after what he wants. So he's really done really well there. But yeah, you're right. You could have
several of those really outstanding young men. Eli Lanning's another. I'm very impressed with what he's been able to accomplish. And he's such a good person. Levi is the same way. He's a great guy. He's good to pull with. I'm glad he's going out and discovering what life has to offer. And
his whole family is phenomenal too. I got to hang out with his stepdad CJ at East vs. West with him, and that was a blast. We all had a great time. The whole family, it's just amazing. His mom is great. His brother's great. So yeah, it's just a really great family. And I've met his biological dad too. He's awesome. I can see where he gets his genetics from, because holy shit, what a big dude he is. But yeah, no, I get it. I get your side of the point too, as far as the tournament stuff. And I think the biggest key is, right, discussions like this is what makes it happen. Calm, cool, collected. We can be on different sides of a topic and not be disrespectful about it or get in each other's face about it or call each other names or anything like that. I see your point. I would personally like to see it back the other way, but again, I see your point. So, I mean, and it is what it is. I support the committee and what they've done. And I'd like to see how it shakes out with the next tournament and all of that. And, they didn't take away any avenue. So let's say, I do great, or Josh does phenomenal and takes out Adam Hoying at Camel City, right? I mean, he takes out the 231-pound king. Well, you didn't automatically get number one, but you automatically get to not worry about number 5, 4, 3, or 2, or 1. And you have the right to then call Adam Hoying out for a super match. Right. So, I mean, in a lot of ways that does work too, because you've skipped over that annoying number 5. So,
yeah, exactly.
In a lot of ways that works.
I think the biggest concern for me about the losing your rank is I didn't feel like it promoted more pulling. Like people that were in number 1 would not show up to tournaments because they were terrified of losing their rank if they had an off day, or let's say they had a war with someone who's a good up and comer, and then all of a sudden they pull somebody who's nowhere near their league, and then all of a sudden they just lose their rank because they had a war with someone. And then what it starts to do is I'm not going to go. I don't want to risk it, because people work hard to get to that first place, and I thought that it kind of hindered people's willingness to go out and compete. Whereas now it's like, I don't have to be top shape. I don't have to be whatever. Me personally, I pull tournaments right through training. I don't stop. I don't taper. I don't nothing, because I just go for fun. So, I would then be able to continue doing that even if I were ranked. And I would, if someone beat me, it's like, hell yeah, I have something to fight for now. I know who my opponent is. We're moving forward. The transfer of ranks, I think, are very in very good hands in super match arm wrestling.
And listen, I agree with you 100%. I do. As far as that goes, I see both of your points on that. Again, I'm interested to see how it goes. I really am. And I definitely see your 2 points on that. And I'm not going to argue that you made logical sense on them, because you did. I just want to read these 3 real quick. I don't want to keep you guys too long, because obviously your time is worth money too. And the other thing is that I don't know if you guys know this, but at 9:00 they're doing an Ask Me Anything over at East vs. West. So I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people over there about the whole hacking thing and all of that jazz. Josh, this is from UAP Customs, aka my wife. Josh, I have to say it's always a blessing to be around you. You always keep me laughing, and it's always a great time when you're around. I greatly appreciate it. to Jonathan, I was really glad we had a chance to talk at Clash. I appreciate everything and look forward to hearing how great you all do in the future. And Andy, we have yet to meet or talk to each other, but if you're around these two, you're in great company. So there you go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I've been around Josh a lot. We are a family. We have a very
I'm sorry.
unique relationship, and so, we've been through a lot together, and spent many nights together growing up, and lived together a couple of times, and and then I've known Jonathan for many years now, so I regard these two as both very close brothers of mine, and I'd do anything for them. So they are great.
That is awesome, man. That is
Believe
awesome.
it or not, this dude destroys me on the table, no matter
Really?
what happens. He
Really?
destroys me. I can't.
Well,
I
then
can't.
I'm super looking forward to pulling you because Josh and I are not that far off, and I'd love to see where you are versus me.
I mean, you'll get to me at some point, Ted, but you know, it's hard work and determination.
I love it. I love
Andy's,
it. I absolutely love it.
Andy's got some of the best tendon integrity, especially off the go, of pretty much anybody anywhere near their weight class that I've
So
pulled.
he's not afraid to just blast, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all.
And the
And he's good
biggest
at
thing
it.
is he can ball his fist, and it's not movable. When he balls the fist, whatever you got going on moves with it. You know,
Nice,
so
nice.
you
I like
have
it.
to have the hand to handle it. Or
I was gonna say, Josh, you're making me salivate here because it's like whenever I hear somebody's got an uncrackable wrist, this hand says, "Really? Let's find out."
and the funny thing is, when he does crack, it comes out, and then he can roll it out. He's got that little
Oh, that's
cane.
beautiful. Hey, seriously, that's awesome, man.
There is
Andy,
something
I look forward
that
to
I
it.
wanted to mention, if you didn't mind, before.
No, of course. Of course.
In the interest of us trying to build that portfolio, I have had a discussion with Alan today on an idea that we had. If anyone is familiar with Game of Arms, that was on AMC. You know, it was team v team. Teams would go to other teams' practices, and then they would kind of find out who weighed what, and then they would set up matches at that practice. And you know, you just went at it.
Right.
And so I think that we were going to probably start to do some kind of show series to that effect, you know, just recording to build a portfolio. But we want to see teams come together and do this, put their ranks out on the line in a practice scenario, and really get some good film in, some good editing in.
I think that's great as long as the teams, because you know there's certain teams out there. As long as the teams don't think that we need a quote unquote reality show type setting for that, you know, the fake drama, the fighting, the BS that goes with it, and all of that, you know.
Like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you guys are going to promote that at all. I'm saying that there are certain teams out there that will absolutely just dig right into that, and I think that, you know, we've graduated high school. We need to move on past that crap and grow up. So. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love it. You know, I'm already technically doing that. I'm not ranked anymore, but I'm already technically doing that. I'm visiting every team I possibly can. The only reason why I haven't in the last few weeks is because I'm getting ready for a match myself. And, you know, I had to put the finishing touches on with my team, you know, so that I can be ready for my match. But no, as soon as my match is over, I'm looking to get back out on the tour and just pull with you guys. And I know both of you guys, ENC, and as well as Triad Top Rollers, like you guys are top on my list as far as going out there and seeing what's up. I want to go out there and train with the best, man, like everybody. And, you know, even though I'm with Port City Pullers and we're the biggest, quote unquote, maybe the best team out there in North Carolina, I still want to train with every other team because gripping up with hands is how you get better. So
that's what we want to do, is promote teams traveling to each other, and then, you know, saying, hey, listen, we're going to get some awesome footage of you for our portfolio, and you can use it anywhere you want to, you know.
That's awesome, man.
Be part of the show, you know.
That is awesome. Well, listen, guys, is there any other place that we can find you? Do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook page that's dedicated to ENC Productions? Are we working on it? Anything like that?
We're still working on some of our social media platforms, you know, in the development of our portfolio. You know, we need to be able to have content available on those platforms. We are already on YouTube under ENC Productions. So you can go and see at least the most recent live stream that we've done. And then everything moving forward will be put on there as well. But, you know, like I said, we're still very fresh, but we're adding content as quickly as we get it.
Hey, that's fine, man. It's not like I'm, Dana White over here. Okay. I'm just doing what I can. I thought the community really should know you guys and get to meet you guys and see, like, any local promoters out there, or any promoters of anything out there should at least give you guys a ring and see what's up, what you guys can provide for their services or for their sport or for their venue or whatever. So like I said, January 10th, 2026. Yes. Shameless plug. Camel City 4 is going to be put on by myself, Nick Johnson, and our wives. And we are going to have ENC Productions there. And we are going to, I got to talk to Danny Atkins, but we're probably going to have him doing the commentating as well. And we look forward to it. It's going to be great. I can't wait to work with you guys. Like, I can't wait to see your creative minds at work. Like, where are we going to produce them, or, show the medals, like what you want to do and stuff like that. I can't wait to do all of that. That to me is just phenomenal. I can't wait to do all of that. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see you guys interact with my wife, because she's the artist of the group. And, as far as like with the creativity side of it, because I'm going to be sitting there in awe, because you creative people just make me just go like this. Holy shit. Like, how did they think of that? So that's really awesome. But I wish you guys nothing but success, all three of you. Andy, now, it's my mission to crack that wrist, buddy. But I honestly can't wait.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I said it's my mission. I didn't say I was going to succeed. I just said it's my mission.
you might peel it right on back.
Hey, maybe.
My boy.
Hey, maybe. But I honestly, I can't wait to see you guys again. And I know you guys are going up to Val, aren't you?
When is that? August 20 something?
That's this weekend, right?
It's this weekend coming, yeah.
No, we're not going. I'm not going to make it to that one.
We got back at like 3 a.m. Sunday from West Virginia. So no, Logan Bidinger tried to rip my arm off by the root. So
yeah, I believe it. He tried to rip Devin's arm off by the root too. So I mean,
I did take second. He's the only one I lost to, but Jesus, him and Bryce, him on the right, Bryce on the left are just phenoms. It's I don't know if I'm going to say humbling or disappointing as another puller.
I think it would probably be both.
Yeah, to go somewhere and just, you put in all this work and you're feeling pretty decent, and then you go up there and this 23-year-old guy just rips you open like you weren't even there and just walks off and does it again.
Well, John, I mean, you guys are all top rollers. I don't know about Andy. Andy sounds more like an inside puller, but Josh and John, you guys are top rollers. Man, this is a year ago now. Obviously, Bryce has gotten even better now as far as table IQ and all that. But a year ago, I out arm wrestled him as far as I'm concerned in the setup, as far as the hit, as far as everything. I had his hand not fully back or anything, but I had control. I had everything. And this dude just looked at me and went, "That's it," and dieseled right through me. I was just like, oh my God, somebody just get me off this stage right now. I'm done. I just want to quit.
I didn't realize the difference in level until I went out to eat with my wife, 3 weeks before the clash?
Yes.
And in a local town in Washington, and went in this random Italian restaurant and bumped into Bryce Meadows walking out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Of all, states away. And it related to a conversation. He ended up coming over and we practiced that night, me, him, and Josh. Dude had worked like a 12-hour shift. He was dirty and tired and all that. And I wasn't. I was a little beat up. I'd worked out the day before, but so be it. It took us 2 hours before we were really able to do something with his left. Yeah. And even then, like you say, I attacked the hand, of course, right? That's my avenue. I was, even when I had something there, which I'm still not entirely convinced he wasn't giving it to me. It didn't matter. He could be right here and just crank it over and pin you with no hand.
Yeah, it's insane. And that's what I felt in our match. I mean, he never really lost his hand completely, but I know that the feeling that I'm talking about when you take somebody's hand just enough where you've got the control and you've got it. And I mean, I'm hitting on the A side. I've got everything that I need. I don't really need somebody to be over here. So, I've got everything that I need. And he just kind of looks at me and went, "Oh, that's nice." And, it was a Ford tractor and it's just like, geez.
I pulled Bryce at his first ever event in VAL. and I set it up well. You know, everything was going my way. His wrist was kicked back before the go even happened. And
Yeah.
as
So
soon
you
as
beat him in the setup. Yeah.
yeah, and the go happened, and then his wrist kicked back, and it's just like he didn't care. It just continued to go.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, there was
Yeah.
nothing.
Sometimes you
Nothing.
just shake your head and say, well, must be nice.
Exactly. I mean, you talk about just absolute freak. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got amazing work ethics, but his genetics are insane as well, you know, for what he's doing. So it's both, you know what I mean? Because yeah, I say it all the time. You're never going to be elite on work ethic alone. You need a certain amount of genetics, whether it's like Devin, where it's all specialized in the arm and hand, you know, as far as mostly forearm and hand and wrist, or if it's something like Saplenkov, where he had just unmovable biceps and gargantuan hands, you know, whatever. There's got to be certain level of genetics that goes along with what you're doing, you know, whatever the work ethic is, in order for you to be truly successful in this sport. And that's good. It's not an excuse. It's not a, you know, get out of jail free card, because you can also have really great genetics and really shit work ethic. And then somebody like me comes along with mediocre genetics and a good work ethic, and I'll wax the shit out of you. So, I mean, you know, it can happen.
So genetics alone can only take you so far. That's for
right.
sure.
Right. You need the work ethic to go with it. But I think you need the genetics to go with the work ethic in order to become truly elite. So, but anyway, with that said, guys, you guys can see these guys on Facebook: Joshua Blevins, Jonathan Stotesbury, and Andy, you're on Facebook as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's the last name again?
Casper, like the
Casper.
goose.
Okay, like the ghost. Got it. So yeah, you guys can catch them on Facebook. You can see them, ENC Productions on YouTube. I'm actually going to, after this video ends, I'm going to go add your link to your video or your channel in the description below. So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you like and subscribe this video and this channel, and we look forward to doing it again next week, Mondays at 8 o'clock. Everybody, gentlemen, thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Nothing but success in the future, guys. Jonathan, I forgot to even mention, you're also ranked super heavyweight in the state. I can't wait to see you go even further, although, you know, you're pretty high up there right now, but I can't wait to see you go any further. And yeah, I'm a big fan. So we'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.
See ya.
See you guys.
Well, ladies and gents, thank you very much once again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, thank you to the gentlemen for being here. I think they did a great job. I think they're going to do great in the future. ENC Productions, make sure you check them out. And yeah, keep it tuned in here Monday nights at 8 o'clock to Get a Grip, where we're going to be talking all things arm wrestling. And hell, hopefully we can promote as many of the community as possible to make sure that they grow as well. You guys take it easy. Have a great night. God bless.